I was going through this old journal that I just happened to find a few nights ago, and I see where this man, this prophetic man, wrote something about me. I'd totally forgotten about it, and I think it has to do with the Mandela effect and like what I've been doing. I've been calling churches and stuff. So check this out. Well, first of all, before I was a believer in the Messiah, I was very antichrist, and I was totally rebellious. I hated the Bible. I hated Christianity and everything like that. But my mom, my mom was a strong believer, and she always prayed for me. And she would pray for me in this like home group they had. And this man named Billy, apparently God told Billy to fast and pray for me for months. I never met this man before, but God put it upon his heart to fast and pray for me, And so what's so incredible is that like a few weeks before I became a believer, because I had strayed away from the faith for like a decade or so, this man told my mom that the Lord told him that I was about to come back into the kingdom of heaven, that I was coming back. 2 weeks, he told my mom this 2 weeks before I literally did come back to my parents' house, crying in tears like the prodigal daughter. And I was like, guys, I'm sorry, I'm repenting, I'm coming back to the truth, to Jesus. And I totally was crying, just like the whole prodigal son parable, but I was a prodigal daughter. So this man is very prophetic, and I wanted to meet this man immediately. I'm like, who is this man that prayed and fasted for me? Like I was so like touched by that. And I mean, it was God though, God was working through him, coming, to make him fast and pray for me. It's so amazing. But anyway, so I was going through I happened to find this journal under my couch, and it's just, you got to hear what he said. I'd totally forgotten about this. So check this out. It says right here, Billy, his name's Billy. Billy said, I am a seer, which I had felt God had been telling me. So it was confirmation. And then he says, Billy said God was going to give me open visions and use me to tell the church some things they might not want to hear, and not to be offended, proud, or discouraged. That if people were jealous or not believing me, not to care or be offended. Isn't that interesting? I mean, I do get visions from God ever since I've been a believer. He does wake me up with visions sometimes, but they're not open visions yet. But apparently this man says eventually God's going to give me open visions. Glory to God. Every gift we have is from him. It has nothing to do with us. It's just his mercy, his grace. If we're going to boast, all we can boast in isn't him, But yeah, it's pretty interesting, right? He says, I'm going to be talking to churches, telling them things they don't want to hear. He says, once again, and God's going to use me to tell the church some things they might not want to hear, and not to be offended, proud, or discouraged, that if people were jealous or not believing me, and not to care or be offended. And you see how I call these churches about the Mandela effect, and a lot of them don't believe it. So isn't that incredible? Like how God just has you pick things up and read them at certain times in your life. And he's totally encouraging me through this, because I'd forgotten about this prophecy about me. So yeah, God's telling me, don't be offended when these churches don't believe us. Don't let it get to us, and keep speaking the truth about what's going on. All right, guys. Well, I hope this testimony encouraged you that God is totally real. He uses people around us to speak the truth to us. And man, I need to make my testimony. God actually woke me up with the word testimony in my mind like a month ago, and I didn't do it. But I told him next time he puts the word testimony in my mind, I'm going to do it. I hope you have a blessed night or day.